Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Clint, your board game hero. In this video, we're going to do a solo playthrough of Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. Before we start, I just want to say I really love this game. For me, this is the best version of Pandemic. First, if it has miniatures. I love miniatures. I painted all the investigators. Second, it's really thematic. I really love the board. I love the art and the colors, and it really pulls you into the world or the city. So, Pandemic can be played solo initially because it's a cooperative game, meaning, well, you can take control of 2 characters, 3 characters, or 4 characters. It's up to you. But I found in the BGG or Board Game Geek a user under the name Borsuk, Borsook, came up with a solo rule adapted from Pandemic Fall of Rome. So in this game, only few changes. Okay, first we will remove the magician into this from this game, and the elder one, Yog Sothoth. Sorry, I just want to show you. It's a pity that we have to remove the magician because that's my favorite miniature. I painted him after a DC character. Now, if you can guess that in the comments, that will be great. Look at him. Okay, now take a good guess in the comments if you know which character from the DC universe that I painted him after. And then, normally, you will deal all your elder ones. And you will summon, normally, the cultist. Then, before adding the relics in the deck, you deal 3 cards to the side of the board, and this will be called your Book of Secrets. Okay, so as you can see on this side, I made it empty here. We will use this as the Book of Secrets. So in the screen, you will see an overlay. We will put the Book of Secrets here, and this is our hand of cards. Maximum of 7, maximum of 3. So what is a Book of Secret? First, it will start with 3 cards there before you add the relics in the deck. After that, you will deal yourself 4 characters, and you will choose 3. So in this game, you will control 3 investigators. And then, what changes in the play? So the gameplay proceeds as like in the multiplayer, except instead of different players taking turns, you will control 3 different characters, and you take turns one by one from left to right. So it's starting from the leftmost character to the rightmost character. And all of those 3 characters will share your hand of cards of 7. So they don't have their own hand. And then the Book of Secrets. So what is the Book of Secrets? The Book of Secrets is an area next to the board that I showed you earlier that can house clue cards. So some clue cards are dealt to the book during setup, but the give and take action, the usual trading action on the board is now different. So instead of doing that, you can do one of the following. When you do the give and take action, you can either deposit a card to the Book of Secrets, or you take a card or withdraw a card from the Book of Secrets and add it to your hand. So this is like your repository of cards or extra storage. Just relic cards do not go into the Book of Secrets. And then there's a relic card that allows you to swap cards from with another player. You can do that with the Book of Secrets. And this is our board. We have different shots. We have a shot of the board, shot of the cards in our hand, and the Book of Secrets. We have shot of characters here. We will put the character here, but it's going to be blurry. And yeah, that's it. This is the overhead camera. I guess we can begin. I'm just going to do the setup, and then draft our characters, and then populate the board, and then we can begin our game. Before we add relic cards, we first take 3 normal cards and add it to our Book of Secrets. Okay, so this is the secrets that we know. And now we will add our relics. According to the rulebook, we will add 4, 5, or 6 relics with 2, 3, or 4 players. So since we are playing with 3 characters, we're going to add 5 relic cards to shuffle with together with the clue cards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the rest of the relics will be on a separate deck. Now let's assign cards to each player, but since we are playing this variant, we will only assign to one player but the same number of cards. So for 3 players, we have 3 cards to start with. Okay, so we have a relic at the beginning. We have an hourglass. That's good, I guess. And we have Kingsport and Innsmouth. Okay, now this deck will be placed here on the board. Okay, and this will be the discard pile for that. Now for the relics here will be set aside, but will still be useful later on. We can draw relic cards. Sometimes it allows us. And yeah, I guess we have that all set up except for Evil Steers. So let's add this to this deck. Okay, so to do this, we will just divide this into 4 equal parts. Now being equally divided is very important. Next, we will shuffle 1 Evil Steers card on each of them. So let's put it in the middle, and then let's do a shuffle. So I don't know if it's going on top or at the bottom. Okay, so it's going to the bottom. It's going here. Lastly, this will go to the top. Now the setup is complete. We can begin our game of Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. In Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu, you have 4 actions, and those actions can be walk, take a bus, use a gate, give or take 1 clue card. But for this game, we're gonna take from the Book of Secrets or deposit, and we can defeat a cultist, defeat a shogun, and lastly seal a gate. So they have their own explanation here in the very small reference, but very useful as well. We have 2 for actions and sanity effects, because they have sanity die that you must roll whenever the game tells you to. So let's begin. We need a marker for our characters here, because we are going to go from left to right. And let me find a marker. Okay, so I found this one. This is a miniature Cthulhu from, I think, that Dark Heaven Bones Reaper miniatures. So we're going to use that as a marker. Which one is taking its turn? Okay, so first is going to be the Hunter. The Hunter's ability is to remove all cultists when doing the defeat a cultist action. Once per turn, you may defeat a shogun for only 1 action, because normally we can defeat a shogun. It costs 3 actions. So this is a very powerful character or investigator. This is the Hunter. We have the next one is the Driver. When doing walk action, you may move up to 2 locations instead of 1. And we ignore Itaqua's effect. Itaqua is an elder one. When revealed, it has a persisting effect. And then we have a detective here that he only needs 4 cards of the same color to seal a gate. So he's going to be the sealer of gates. She's going to be the killer of cultists. And then the driver is just going to move around. Okay, this is our starting hand. Let me see. This is our starting hand. We have an Innsmouth, Kingsport, and the last hourglass. We don't want to use the last hourglass now. So let's do our turn. Do 4 actions. And then at the end of our action, we will draw 2 player cards. And then after drawing 2 player cards, we will draw the summoning cards. It depends on the elder one revealed. So for at the beginning, we have 2 summoning cards. And then later on, as the game goes on, we have 3. We will draw 3 summoning cards. Enough about that. let's just do our turn. I know most of you are getting bored, so let's just get on with it. In Arkham, we have 2. In Innsmouth, we have 3. And 3 here in Kingsport, and a little bit 4 in Dunwich. And the Shogot is here in Kingsport. Now, if the Shogot always moves towards the gate, and we have a gate in the graveyard here in Kingsport. We have a gate in the Old Mill in the Dunwich area. We have the gate in the park in Arkham, and then in Innsmouth we have the hospital gate. Okay, so the Shogot always moves towards that, whichever is the closest gate. And we have the Shogot here in Kingsport, so we want the Hunter to go to Kingsport to get rid of that Shogot, to move to an adjacent location. But now that she is in a bus station or train station, she can take a bus. She can discard the one of our Kingsport ticket card or clue card. She can discard this and she can transfer to this bus station in Kingsport. By the way, we are playing the difficulty expert, so we just remove 2 clue cards from the deck. So every card here counts. But that's what I want to do. The Hunter takes a bus and goes to Kingsport. The Hunter can go to any location in that town. Okay, not just the bus station. I guess I want to go here in the market so we can get rid of all these cultists. So one action. So our second action is to get rid of all these cultists, because that's her ability. Remove all cultists when doing the defeat a cultist action. And then she will move one more. So this is her third action towards the Shogot. And it says here that you will roll the insanity die whenever you enter a location with the Shogot. So let's roll a die because we entered the location of the Shogot. Let's roll it here. Okay, that's a blank. That is good for us. That has no effect. And then for our fourth action, we will just defeat this Shogot. Now, defeating a Shogot costs only one action. So remove that Shogot. It's gone. The price for defeating a Shogot is a Relic Card, which is very good. So we just gained, oh, not this one, sorry. We just gained Alien Carving. The active player can take 3 extra actions this turn, but we're not going to use that. We will use that for emergency purposes. We now have 3 cards in our play area. 2 of them is a Relic Card. We have 2 blue card in the Book of Secrets area. Now, that's our 4 action. We now have to draw 2 player cards. This is the player cards. We have Dunwich and another relic. Seal of Leng. You may choose a revealed effect of an old one and cancel its effect for the rest of the game. Okay, we now have 3 relic cards. We have 3 relic cards here and 2 clue card. Well, it's not bad, but we want more of these colored cards so we can close gates early in the game. Okay, next is the draw summoning cards. So we will just summon cultists. First is train station. One there. Where is the train station in green? Oh, here, where the investigators are. And then one more in the woods. Now, it has this icon that means Shogots move, but we don't have a Shogot in the board right now. One cultist in the woods. There she is. Okay. Now, on to the next character's turn, which is the driver. Now, the driver here can move 2 locations instead of 1 in 1 walk action. Maybe we can, in the early game, close Innsmouth, right? Because we already have 4. We need a 5 to close this one, and we don't have cards. What are our relic cards here? Let me check. Active player can take 3 extra actions this turn. We want to use that on the Hunter to get rid of cultists later on. So let's keep that for later. We have Last Hourglass. May take any clue card from the player discard pile. The only clue card right now is Kingsport, and we don't need that. And then lastly, okay, we're still good. Let's just get rid of cultists so we don't get, like in the regular pandemic, they call it outbreak. In here, an awakening ritual occurs, and that means that we are going to open the next elder one and do its effect. So we want to go here in Historic Inn because it has 3 cultists. So the driver will move 2 spaces going to the church, 1 and 2. So that's 1 movement. The second movement will be here in the Historic Inn. Third action, maybe I should display them like that now. Yeah, maybe it's better if they lie down. Third action and fourth action will remove 2 of these cultists. Okay, so we're safe. We're doing good so far. Let's draw 2 player cards. We have an Evil Steers. That's early. That's too early. Anyway, 2 Evil Steers says here, fight the madness. Roll the insanity die. So we roll the insanity die. And he got a blank. That's good. The awakening. We reveal the next old one. Our old one is Nyarlathotep. And it says here, investigators may no longer do the use a gate action, because you can also use an action to go through a gate to go to another gate, but now we cannot do that because of Nyarlathotep. We got a Shogot that appears from the bottom of the summoning deck. We put 1 Shogot on that location, so we put the Shogot on the graveyard here. Oh, at the gate, exactly at the gate. So when he moves, he will just move inside the gate. Alright, and then cultists regroup. Shuffle the summoning discard pile. Put the cards on top of the summoning deck. So all of this discard pile, all of this card will go on top of the summoning deck. That means that all places with cultists will be adding more to that space. So an awakening ritual is bound to happen if we don't clean up those spaces. The driver cleaned up the Historic Inn because this is gonna happen. I didn't know, but it's bound to happen. It's inevitable. Okay, so that is Evil Steers card. And we discard that. It's out of the game. We only have 4 of that, so I only drew 1. Now we will draw our second card. Okay, now this is our card. We have Innsmouth, 2 Dunwich, and 3 Relic Cards. We are now nearing our maximum because the maximum is 7. That's it. Then we draw summoning cards. Let's hope that the Shogun doesn't move, because if it moves, it goes inside a gate, and that will cause us an awakening ritual, I believe. So let's see. I hope. We will draw 2 here. Okay, it's a Great Hall and the Shogun move. So what happens here is we go Great Hall and Shogun goes inside that gate and causes an awakening ritual. Okay, now let's see what's going to be the next elder one. Old one. It's going to be Chatogua. And all players collectively discard 2, 3, 4 cards for 2, 3, 4 players. So we are 3 players. We will collectively discard 3 cards. So we are 3 players. Let's discard all of this. I know it hurts, but I think relic cards are useful. We can use the last hourglass to take a card from the discard pile. So we will use this one to get one that we need. But for now, let's discard these 3 cards because we are playing with 3 characters. Okay, now let's draw another one. That's only the first one. The second one is the train station. We add 1. So now we now have 2 in the train station. 2 cultists here and 1 in the Great Hall, where our hunter is. To the detective, which only needs 4 of the same color to seal a gate. Now that he is there, we don't have cards. Again, let's just use the last hour. No, not yet. So I want to get rid of cultists. For my first action, I'm going to get rid of 1 cultist here. And I'm going to move towards the diner so we can remove more. So second action, third action, and fourth action. He's now in a secret lodge, which is kind of bad because we just moved a short distance here in Arkham. But yeah, that's his turn. We draw 2 player cards. We have Arkham and Dunwich. And then let's draw summoning. We'll summon 1 in the market and 1 in the graveyard. Okay. Okay, easy. Not too pressured. Okay, so sorry, I left the Cthulhu open. Let me close that up because we're not yet towards the end. Because when that opens, we're dead. We're gone. Okay, so that's the detective's turn. Let's move it to. Let's go back to the hunter. And so far for this hunter, so the bad thing here is that the cultists are spread out, and we need to take them out. I'm just going to clean up Kingsport. 1 action. Remove. 2 action, remove. We now have last action because we only have 4 action. And let's go here in the wharf so that we can, get rid of the other players. Or, you know what? Instead of moving, I'm just going to take a card from our Book of Secrets. This is called withdrawing from the Book of Secrets. So that's an action. I'm thinking maybe we will get Arkham cards. I'm just feeling it. And we didn't use any of those cards yet. Let's do the draw two player action. Player cards. One is Dunwich and the other is Dunwich. So we have 3 Dunwich cards. 3 Dunwich cards and 2 Arkham cards. And then let's summon cultists. We have 1 in the junkyard. 1 in the junkyard here and 1 in the woods here. And let's move the turn to the driver. Now the driver's turn, he don't have to deliver anything. The driver is cool if you need to deliver stuff to another investigator. But in this variant, we have set of cards already, 7. They all share the same. So what we want to do is just get rid of cultists. This area, I want the hunter to take care of that, while the driver will take care of this side. So the first action will be get rid of the cultists in the historic inn, move 2 spaces to the swamp, and get rid of this cultist. So that is 3 action already. Let's put him in the middle. 1, 2. He can easily access if he needs to go somewhere with the boss here. So that is his turn. That's final. Let's draw 2 more cards. And I'm sorry, I forgot that we reached the limit already for our hand of cards. That should only be 7. We have 8. In order to keep one of them, let's just discard 1. So as a penalty to myself, I will discard 1 of them randomly as a penalty because I forgot. We lost alien carving. Sorry, it had to be done. Now we are back to 7 cards. So, sorry, I'm just canceling my move. And instead of going there, so I was in the swamp and I have 1 last action. As an action, I will just put 1 of our Arkham cards to our Book of Secrets area. Just keep it there. And I'm hoping I get a Dunwich card so that I can close the gate here in Dunwich using the next character, which is the detective. What else can we use that won't get discarded? Okay, let's just use the last hourglass. The active player may take any clue card from the player discard pile. So let's take Dunwich. And we now have 6 cards. And let's see what we will draw. We have Arkham and Kingsport. Since we don't have space and we don't have a lot of Kingsport card, let's just discard Kingsport. So summoning a 1 in Historic Inn and 1 in Pawn Shop. Okay, almost full. The Pawn Shop has 3 cultists now. So the character is going to be the detective. The challenge here is that we can now close Dunwich, the gate, but one of the effects of closing a gate is you're able to remove cultists from that area, and Dunwich now don't have any cultists at the moment. But I guess that's okay, I mean, why would I not do it? So for the detective's turn, we're going to, I hope we can reach it though. 1, 2, 3, 4. We cannot reach. That's bad. I can go through the gate. However, I have Nyarlathotep blocking me. It says here, investigators may no longer do the use a gate action, or I can take a bus. If I take a bus, I can go anywhere. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to the diner for 1 action. Second action is I'm going to take the bus from Arkham anywhere on the board. I'm going to the old mill here in Dunwich as a second action, and as a third action, I'm going to close that gate. But before I do that, I'm going here. Before I take the bus, I'm just going to remove 1 cultist. So that's 2 action already. Take a bus, going here in the old mill, and my 4th action will be close that gate. So I have 4 Dunwich cards here. Normally, I need 5, but since this is the detective, he knows a lot about things, so he only needs 4 Dunwich clues to close that gate. So let's discard the Dunwich clues and close that gate. I think it should be here in the gate. Now, Dunwich is closed and we can remove 1 cultist from each location, and I remove 1 from the Historic Inn. That's 1 out of 4 already. We're doing good. And that is the turn of our detective. Oh, we use an effect of a relic card, but we didn't roll the sanity die for the driver. So let's do that now before we do anything else. So that's blank again, so that's safe. Now it's going back to the hunter's turn. Oh wait, no. It's the end of the... I keep forgetting the end of the player's turn. So let's draw two player cards. We have Arkham again and Kingsport. Let's summon Cultist. One at the diner and one at the swamp. Okay. So that's the end of the turn for the detective. It's now the turn of the hunter. The hunter is here. What we have right now is we have one Kingsport and two Arkham. We have one Arkham in the Book of Secrets. So we only need one Arkham for the detective to close the next gate. And let's do our job. I'm gonna move her one here in the woods and take care of all those cultists. That's two actions already. But let's see if there's already pawn shop. There's already pawn shop here, so there's nothing to worry about here unless we draw an evil steer card here, which will force a Shogot and an awakening if possible. So we want to go to the Innsmouth as this hunter. So that's two actions already. The third and the fourth action will be in the boardwalk. And then let's draw two more player cards. We have Kingsport and Arkham. Okay, we have four Arkham now, but one of them is in our Book of Secret. Let's summon the cultist. Summon one at the cafe and the Secret Lodge. And Secret Lodge. Okay, now they're still spreading. And that's the end of the hunter's turn. Let's go to the driver. So the driver right now is in Dunwich and he has one cultist in his space. And since Innsmouth, the hunter can take care of that. We can go to... I think I want him to go to the graveyard because this area is too far and too isolated. So moving the driver towards that would be less costly. So one, two, only two actions and he can be here. So first, let's remove this cultist in his space. That's one action. Second action, third action, he's now in the graveyard. And the fourth action, he'll take care of this cultist. Let's draw a card. If we draw a card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be wasted. It's going to be discarded. So let's just use the Seal of Leng. Seal of Leng allows us to cover Old One's effect. And I'm going to cover Nyarlathotep just for the heck of it. Because maybe in the future, we have to do a gate action. So I'm just covering that. Now we use a relic card. We're still at full insanity or full sanity. So it's okay to roll the die. Let's roll the die for the hunter and she lost one sanity. Sorry, this is the driver. So the driver lost one sanity. And that ends his turn. Let's draw a card for him. We have Dunwich. We don't have a use for that except for the boss. And we have Kingsport. We now have 3 Kingsport, 3 Arkham, and 1 Dunwich. What we lack of is the Innsmouth card. We have 2 in the Book of Secrets, but not that much in our hand. Now let's summon cultists. 1 on the church, 1 in the farmstead. So there's again spreading here in Dunwich, even though the gate is closed. Yeah, so the next turn will be the detective's turn. Now we have 4 Arkham cards, as we have seen earlier. But we have to take an action to get from the Book of Secrets. And once we get from the Book of Secrets, we have to discard because we are exceeding our maximum. So our first action, we have to reach the park. No? So the movement is 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't be able to make it this round. I'm going to just move 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And the last action will be trade action. Get 1 from the Book of Secrets, but since we are now more than 7, we have to discard 1, and I'm going to discard Dunwich. So I guess this is going good. So on the board, the detective is in the train station at the moment. He's making his way to the park. Draw 2 cards for him, and it's Evil Steers. Again, we will fight the madness. We will roll the sanity die for the detective. He lost 1 sanity because of that, and we will reveal the next old one. Who could it be? It's Dagon. Place 1 cultist on each gate location. So we have 4 gates. It didn't say open or close, so we will place 1 here even though it's closed. We have 1 in the park, 1 in the graveyard, and 1 in the hospital. I'm so glad that these 3 is not in the hospital. Next, the Shogot appears from the bottom of the deck. Shogot appears in the wharf. The wharf is here. Again, it's next to the gate, so that's dangerous for us. Cultists regroup. I hope when we draw summoning, we don't draw Shogot move twice. Put it on top. Let's continue our turn. The other card is Innsmouth card. But again, we are full. So we will have to discard 1. And I think there are more Innsmouth cards in the deck, so I'm going to discard Innsmouth. So yeah, let's summon. First is Swamp, and the Shogot moves once. Okay, that's dangerous. Swamp here. The next movement will be, yes, there's no Shogot move. And 1 in the graveyard here. So our driver here is getting mobbed by the cultists, and Shogot appeared in its area. We have to roll a sanity die again because Shogot appeared. He's not used to seeing that. Another sanity lost. So that is the turn of the detective. Let's go to the turn of the hunter. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I cannot reach. The hunter cannot reach. But she can go to the factory. There's a bus there and take a bus going here. Problem is we will lose 1 of our Kingsport card because this is a threat as well. 3 cultists in the pawn shop. If we draw another pawn shop here, it's gonna be an awakening ritual. If the Shogot enters that gate, it's going to be an awakening ritual. So I guess I'm just gonna hope for the driver to take its turn before the Shogot enters the gate, so that the driver can use 3 actions to defeat that Shogot. Okay, so for the hunter, I'm going to move 2 spaces, 1 and 2. That's 2 actions. And as third action, I'm going to get rid of all of these cultists in the pawn shop. And as a fourth action, I am going to place 1 card in the Book of Secrets, and I'm choosing Kingsport. I think that's a good move. Now let's draw 2 player cards. We have Kingsport. I told you it's a good move. And we have a silver key. What is this? The active player can instantly move to any location on the board. The active player is the hunter. She can move in the Shogot's location. But it would be useless if we do that, no? Because instead of discarding this card, because we have a maximum now, we can use it. You know what? I'm keeping the silver key. I'm discarding 1 Kingsport card. How many Kingsport card is in the discard pile? We have 2. So this is the 3rd Kingsport card. Okay. So the situation in our card area is now that we have 2 Kingsport, 4 Arkham, and 1 Relic that allows us to move to any location. Let's summon Cultist. How many? 2. We will summon 2. Historic Inn, and the Shogot moved inside the gate. That's another awakening ritual. So Historic Inn first, and the Shogot enters the gate. We will reveal another Elder One. And this is Hastur. Draw the bottom card of the summoning deck and place 1 Shogot on that location. Discard that card to the summoning discard pile, and then move each Shogot 1 location closer to the nearest open gate. So this is where the Shogot appeared, in the hospital. And the hospital is where? Oh my goodness, that is a gate. So a Shogot appeared on that gate, and it says here, move each Shogot 1 location. That means this Shogot enters that gate again and opens another Elder One. And this Elder One is Azathoth. And it says here, remove 3 cultists from the unused supply. Currently, we have, how many cultists do we have? 3, 6, 9, 10. But we are removing 3. That means we are now down to 7 remaining cultists. That hurts. Oh my goodness. What are the odds of that? Summoning a Shogot in the hospital and then moving it 1 space because of Hastur? That's sick. Anyway, that is only 1 of the movement. We have to draw 2 more because it is now 3 here. So that's 1. Second is pawn shop. There's no Shogot, so there's no movement. And the last one will be in the church. Oh my goodness, the board is full of cultists. But fortunately, there's no space with 3 cultists yet. Now, let's pass the turn to the driver. It's the driver's turn with 2 sanities. Going crazy. The driver is here in the graveyard and it can't really do anything. Okay, you know what? I just remembered there's no limit to the Book of Secrets. So this maximum 3 is not applicable. So let's remove that maximum 3 text there. So that in the rules in this variant, there's no limit to the number of cards you can keep in the Book of Secrets. So we should be utilizing that to put more cards in there. so that we can keep more. So since the driver cannot do anything really useful, I'm just going to spend his turn putting cards in the Book of Secrets. So I'm going to put Kingsport there, so 2 action from the driver, so 2 action to put 2 Kingsport cards there. And we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever we draw next 2 cards, it's not going to be discarded. So that's a mistake on my part, but that's okay. So we have 2 more actions. First action will be spent. Wait, 2 actions will be spent on this graveyard to get rid of these 2 cultists, because this is hard. This is very isolated, so we want to get rid of those cultists there. That's the end of the driver's turn. Let's draw 2 cards. We have Innsmouth and we have Arkham. We now have 5 Arkham cards, but the detective only uses 4, so that's good. Now let's draw 3 summoning cards. We have 1 in the market. The red area is clear at the moment, so that's good. We have 1 in the wharf and 1 in the secret lodge. Okay, I think I'm feeling good about this. There's no threat really at the moment. But looking at the elder one, we only have 2 awakening rituals before the game ends. So we have to move fast. Let's go to the detective's turn. With 3 sanity, he wants to close the gate of Arkham. So our first action, or 2 actions, will be going to move and move. So he's now at the gate for 2 actions in the gate. He's going to discard 4 of the Arkham cards to close the Arkham gate. Yes. So let's put it there. And let's get rid 1 cultist from each location. So we're good. A little bit of recovery there. That's 3 actions. We have 1 more action to get something from our Book of Secrets. Let's start getting something from Innsmouth. So last action will be going to get a card, an Innsmouth card. So draw 2 player cards. Please no evil steers. Yes, Innsmouth. And oh no, an evil steer. Roll the insanity die. Okay, we lost an insanity. We lost a sanity. Our detective has now 2 sanities left. Reveal the next old one. Which one is this? Shub-Niggurath. Shub-Niggurath says draw 4 cards from the bottom of the summoning deck and add 1 cultist to each of these locations. Oh no. It's good that we're not going to trigger another awakening because we don't have a space with 3 cultists. So that's good. That's good. Keep it calm. So let's draw 4 cards from the bottom of the summoning deck. We have 1 in the old mill. Where's the old mill? Okay, here. We have 1 in the docks. We have 1 in police station. That's good. And 1 in the theater. Yes, okay. So not too much threat. A Shogot appears from the bottom of the deck. Shogot appears in the boardwalk. Where's the boardwalk? Okay, we have a Shogot here now. And the cultists regroup. That's 2 cards already we drew from the deck. Now we are going to draw summoning cards. Now this is going to get serious. We will draw 3 summoning, and hopefully this Shogot does not move 3 times, because if he moves 3 times, he's going to enter that portal and he's gonna summon Cthulhu. So secret lodge, he moves 1 space towards that gate, and we put 1 in the secret lodge. And then we have graveyard. Okay, now we're safe for another round. And then we have old mill. Okay, we have 3 cultists in the old mill now. That's another awakening threat, awakening ritual threat. We have 2 gates more to close. Let's move our turn to the hunter. Okay, so the cards in our hand right now, we have 3 Innsmouth. Yeah, and 1 Arkham. We don't need that. We need Kingsport now. So the good thing is that the next Evil Steers is probably far below this deck. We already have 3, and we are expecting 4, and the deck is still this many. So that's good. Okay, for the hunter, I want her to get rid of this Shogot because that's threatening. So move 1 space and then roll the sanity die because she's entering the space of the Shogot. And it says here to... Oh no, what happened here? We just lost. It says here to summon 2 cultists, and we only have 1 left in the supply. All because of Azathoth, because Azathoth asked us to remove 3 from the supply, and we just lost. Oh my goodness. That was hard. I was about to defeat these cultists and lessen the threat level. But yeah, that's what happens. You cannot go against the old ones that easily. One does not simply beat Cthulhu and the old ones. Okay, that is our playthrough of Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. One of my favorite games to play solo because it's very thematic. I love the components, I love the colors, I love the art, I love everything about this game. Well, I hope you liked the video, and if you did, if you liked the video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, just something to show support. And yeah, again, this is your Board Game Hero. Thank you for watching. See you again next time.